Mother Knows Death, starring Nicole and Jemmy and Maria QK.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mother Knows Death. We hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you're shopping today while listening to this show, and we have some great stories for you. So we hope you enjoy. On today's episode, we're going to talk about a real housewife who lost custody of one of her, or all of her kids, I should say, from giving one of them an unprescribed medication, a grizzly bear that attacked students and teachers on a field trip, a gynecologist who secretly filmed his patients for years, a man who was caught on video doing something truly disturbing and disgusting, and another scandal rocking the organ donation world. All that and more on today's episode. Let's get into this. You're the Real Housewives person. Who is this lady?
All right, so Megan King, she is a former Real Housewife of Orange County. She was married to baseball player Jim Edmonds. I don't think you've ever heard of it.
What team's he on?
Irrelevant. He was on the Angels, the Cardinals. He was on a bunch of different teams. I don't think he was on any one for a significant amount of time. But she has temporarily lost custody of her 3 children after reportedly giving one of her sons Ritalin multiple times, even though he was not prescribed it. Then she allegedly asked a school nurse to give it to him as well, which then prompted a call to Child Protective Services and resulted in her losing custody of them temporarily.
Well, I think that this is probably pretty valid because Ritalin is, sometimes people give their kids medication that they're not prescribed. I don't think that that's the big deal. I think because Ritalin's kind of a more hardcore drug. It's a stimulant, so it could lead to...
what is it for?
For ADHD.
Okay.
So it's a stimulant, though. It's a controlled substance. This isn't like giving your kid... I don't even know, like antibiotic cream or something like that. This is kind of a bigger deal because it could lead to arrhythmia, heart attack, death. It could cause addiction. This drug's known to cause addiction. And also, because I didn't see in this particular article, but I know that she has twins. So I was wondering, where did this medication come from? Was it prescribed to her or was it prescribed to one of the other kids? Because the dosage would really be important too. You're not going to give the same dosage to a 7 or 8 year old that you would give to a 40-year-old woman. You know what I mean? So
on a couple other Bravo or pop culture podcasts I've listened to since this news broke, there has been speculation that this was an accidental mix-up. So she has twin boys and a daughter, and the mix-up is believed, this is all hearsay because I don't even think any news outlets have reported this, that one of the twins was potentially prescribed the drug and that it was accidentally given to the other one by accident. Which obviously is a huge problem.
But she asked the school nurse to give the other kid the drug?
Yeah, but they're suggesting it was a mix-up. I don't know who that information came out or if people are just trying to defend her in any way possible.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still, the kid's in your custody and you can't be mixing stuff like that up. I understand that that's a possibility, but it feels like it was several times in addition to the nurse incident. And I just know with our school nurse, if I called and said by accident, hey, could you give Lucia this inhaler when really Lillian was supposed to have it, she wouldn't call CPS on me. There's more. Do you understand? There's more to the story.
Well, of course, because obviously there could be an accidental, you accidentally said the wrong kid, you're just saying. You could say that, right? But I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes. She's not on the show anymore, but by watching her on the show, she seemed like she was a really awesome mom. So I don't want to speak on whether her motherhood is good or not, right? But
because on Real Housewives she was portrayed as, come on,
because you don't know, because these people are on reality shows and they show the fakest components of their lives to make their lives seem much better, right? So you just don't know because she's on TV, and people also put their highlight reel on social media to make it look like their life is awesome. So You just really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But what we know from earlier this year is that, so she was Jim Edmonds' fourth wife, and then they got divorced, and he has now married a fifth person. So earlier this year, Megan got the cops called on her because she got in an altercation with the new wife while dropping a dress off for her daughter at their house. But she wasn't arrested, but the cops were called, and she, in the reporting, was referred to as a suspect. And then there's also, in 2021, where she married Joe Biden's nephew for 2 months, and I don't think that necessarily seems that stable when you marry somebody for 2 months and you have this grand giant wedding. So I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but I agree with you that I don't think it was a one-off accidental situation. They clearly saw something that made her lose temporary custody, and she has a hearing coming up, I guess, if it's going to reinstate the custody agreement she originally had with her husband or what.
Yeah, and I mean, I could see that for PR purposes, they're trying to make this seem like it was an accident. Listen, like, people that beat the shit out of their kids don't get their kids taken away. So I just don't think that this was just some big mistake. Like, I'm sorry, there's just more, especially a higher profile person like this. I just feel like there's way more to the story than we're even hearing. Especially from a mother that, by all accounts, is like the stable figure in their home. It's not happening. Like, it's total bullshit. I call bullshit.
Yeah. All right. In Canada, this group was on a school trip and having lunch along a trail by a river when a grizzly bear emerged and started attacking them.
This particular place in the woods, they, because of course they want to go and find this bear that attacked these people because the bear was being a bear.
I just can't get down with that. Like, the bear is in its home just being a bear. So why does it deserve to die?
They call it, this particular area of the woods, they call it a gateway to the Great Bear Rainforest. And they've been saying there's an increasing number of grizzly bears. So my question is, why are people walking through there if that's a potential? I understand that in theory a bear shouldn't be, I guess, I don't know, like, because they say when you're in the water, like, a shark wouldn't eat you because you're not their prey, but they do sometimes.
Well, I think that's true. I think that's more so true with black
Like,
bears.
don't bears just sit there with like a big jar of honey and stick their hand in it and lick it? Like,
I think in our area we are more accustomed to black bears, which are more nonviolent unless they are threatened, right? But grizzly bears and brown bears are aggressive, and that is a known fact.
Didn't someone ever see that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he was like attacked by a grizzly bear? It's like one of the most gruesome scenes in cinematic
Cinematic
history.
Cinematic history.
So yeah, like, I don't know. I just don't want to ever be near one. It just seems, and so now they're trying to see if they could trap a bunch of bears and do DNA testing on them to figure out which one of these jerks did this. Like,
my eyes hurt from the eye roll I just did about that. Like, where are we even talking about? Listen, I feel terrible for the people that were attacked, obviously. But you're in the bear's home, and it's acting like a bear, and now you want to kill it for just being itself.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense at all.
It's just really funny how they talk about it as an evil person that needs to be put down or something.
Yes.
And I mean, listen, like, it sounds horrible what happened to these people. Like, they had 2 cans of bear spray, I guess, which I feel like maybe they should have had more. It seemed like it did absolutely nothing to keep them away. Teachers, like, grabbing them on their back, hitting them, punching them and stuff like that. Like, and their claws. Have you ever seen their claws? I can't even imagine. They're probably also weigh a ton and just have a lot of force, just swatting and stuff, like a lot of blunt trauma, possibly trampling, broken bones, and just like those claws.
I can't even understand why
imagine
the bear has to die because it was just living its life.
Because that will make the humans feel better.
It's unbelievable, actually.
That evil being is off the planet.
I don't even like animals like that, and I hate hearing stuff like this.
I know. I'm the same way. I get more annoyed because it's just like a stupid human thing people do.
Seriously. This episode is brought to you by The Gross Room.
Guys, we had a compilation post in the gross room yesterday for Thanksgiving that showed all of the dangerous things that could happen during Thanksgiving. So you definitely want to check that out. We did the Thanksgiving Day Massacre, which was a couple weeks that we talked about doing. But the year before, we did one on cannibalism because, you know, around this time of year, people are eating a lot. So why not talk about eating humans? We also have a couple articles on the dangers of deep frying turkey, which I put a video in there that some fire department put up, you know, a guy in full gear that's putting a turkey into the deep fryer. It's the flames are horrific. You're just like, "Oh my God, if that happened in someone's backyard, that would be terrible." So people are getting really hurt by them. And it's just like a good post for this time of year, so check that out.
Head over to thegrossroom.com now to sign up.
Oh, this guy.
So a gynecologist is under investigation after it was discovered he filmed and photographed patients during their exams.
So this guy was doing pelvic exams, vaginal exams, and putting his cell phone in his pocket on his shirt and had the phone, you know, the camera of the phone facing towards these women and were hitting record before doing their exams. And think about that. Like, it's just like another fear, right? That someone's got a pocket in their phone like that that's recording you and you don't even realize it.
I mean, I was really thinking about this because I've been to the most doctor's appointments I've ever been to in 1 year this year, right? Going through fertility treatment, which is in this same realm. Pelvic exams, you're getting constant ultrasounds, everything. I don't recall a single day where I've seen any employee at any of these offices had their cell phone on their person. And maybe if they did, I just couldn't see it. But I don't ever recall at these doctor's appointments seeing a cell phone.
Well, I'm sure that most offices are very hardcore about that because you don't want to go. I can't say that because I've been to some doctor's offices and go to the front desk and the person's on their phone and you're
Well,
just
I'm
like,
not talking about the person at the desk. I'm talking about like the
Yeah, I
people
mean-
treating you in the back.
yeah. I mean, it's just that they shouldn't have it on them, but I don't know. Like, if a doctor had their phone in their pocket, I really wouldn't think. I mean, it is kind of weird to put a phone in your front pocket, like a man's shirt, you know, just because they're heavier now. They're not very small. So it would, you know what I mean? Like most people put it in their side or back pocket, but I just wouldn't even think the little camera sticking out of the top of their shirt was recording me. And it just makes you think, like, it makes me think about that in general, just with gynecologists. Like there has to be some people that are like getting off on that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a weird thing to think. I mean, I don't know to say that. It's just you hear it sometimes and it just makes you think, like, how often is that really happening versus just like people are like, no, that's like a totally different thing. Like I understand it to a point. I only see patients that are dead, obviously, but like there's no attraction looking at a patient's genitals like that. It's just like it's like a cut, like it's just weird.
Yeah, but like you shut it
they're-
off.
they're
But
dead.
how many stories have we covered about morgue assistants or janitors going in and thinking that's the hottest thing ever?
Yeah, but I mean,
and then assaulting a dead body.
that's like
you know?
a whole other level though with the dead people. Like a live person is like, you know, I assume that doctors are able to, because you could have either female doctors that are attracted to women or male doctors that are attracted to women, whatever, but like they're also interacting and having conversation, how's this, how's that, whatever, like, but you assume that they all draw a line that like this is just business and it's clinical and like I'm not even thinking of you that way. But
Well,
there's always going to be a perv everywhere, right?
Yeah, and in this case, it's like it's not only was he filming and photographing them on his phone, but they said he was touching their genitals and their breast inappropriately while claiming it was part of the exam. But like, I mean, you know if it's inappropriate versus not.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's your first one ever, you don't, but if you're older and you've had exams from other physicians before, you're going to know if this is normal or not because you
Yeah.
know it's appropriate
There's
for them
nothing
to touch.
like sexy time about it.
No, there's nothing sexual and there's nothing even to be confused with being sexual.
Yeah.
The way it goes. Because think about, I don't know. I just think about them sticking the medieval contraption in you and like that's not sexual and like they shouldn't be touching your breast in any area that's sexually stimulating either. So there's that. And then on top of it, he was performing the exams without any supporting staff in the room, which is now a requirement, which is a huge red flag.
That's
and
been
how
a
is he getting
requirement.
around that? Yeah, but
Well,
how is he even getting around
I don't,
that?
because this was fairly recent. This was like in 2021, right?
He just got suspended.
So, I mean, so I guess women were complaining that they were. How did they find out about the recording part of it?
I don't know exactly what led to his recent suspension and this investigation, but there's a lawsuit representing at least 50 victims. By the way, 1,500 people are going to be notified that they were potential victims. Think about that. 1,500 people. This guy has been practicing since 2007 and had notably worked at an army hospital in Hawaii from 2019 to 23, and then most recently has been working at a Texas Army hospital. So they're saying with this lawsuit that there had been many reports that he had been engaging in this behavior going back years and that the Army covered it up, basically. But where did they get that information?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm sure they have, I mean, like, they probably have lots of different women's body parts on this film here. So imagine getting a call like that. I mean, they're going to have to notify people. Just getting a call that like your doctor did something like that and you might potentially be on the other end of some video he was making so he could go home and jerk off to it. It's so weird.
I mean, you should be notified, obviously, right? But when I think about this and what we've talked about in the past, like dead people getting assaulted by people, I just think part of me is just like, I'd rather just not know. Because how could you ever get over it?
No, I know. That I feel like that too. Like what I mean, there's a potential, like we always talk about this case. Remember mom went to that one dentist that, remember we've talked about it on this show. Like,
yeah, that like put the tools on her chest.
He put the tools on her chest, which is weird actually.
It's
it
not
wasn't
weird,
even,
actually. It's inappropriate. That's not
and
where
then
they go.
and it wasn't on a tray. So every time he picked up one of the tools, he was like, let me grab this. Like extra grabbing it to the point she was just like this is weird. And then like I guess they could contact those people and just say that, and maybe then people will get triggered and be like, you know what, like I did think that was weird, but because so many people just are like might blow it off or not say anything.
I think a lot of patients too that could be victimized are just like so embarrassed or ashamed by it too that they might acknowledge it's wrong but just want to forget it and not do anything about it. Because think about it, if you're going ahead and reporting it and then lawyers are getting involved and then there's a court case, you're living this for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I know.
So I think a lot of people, and this can be said for many victims of many different types of crimes, are just like, I can't handle it, and they don't want to be part of it at all.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So it's just terrible. I mean, you just want to hope that you could trust a medical professional, especially in such a vulnerable situation like this. I mean, this is reminding me of those people at the urgent care that were posting like the women's stains on the
that
paper.
Was so stupid.
Like, you're going to this place that you should be trustworthy of, and they're just violating you in the worst possible ways.
This is what's scary too, because Gabe and I were talking about that this morning about the Meta AI glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, if someone has them, a lot of people could tell that a person's has them. But like someone like the old lady lives across the street that we're friends with, like she don't know what that shit is, right?
Yeah.
Like younger people know what it is, obviously, but don't you think within the next couple years it's going to be like that shit is like nobody could tell what it is?
Of course,
they look like my glasses right now. Yeah, exactly.
They're just going to keep redesigning them until you can't
and
tell.
that's what's so scary because you don't. I mean, I'm sure they might be helpful in some situations if you're trying to go undercover to see if the Campbell Soup Company is making fake meat with the 3D printer or something. But like, for the most part, how like it's going to be perverts that are doing it, right?
Well, exactly.
And it's
Because the
or
people
people
designing
that
them
are
are
trying to
perverts.
hide things that they maybe shouldn't be filming or something. I don't know. So
Speaking of perverts, this guy was caught on camera sniffing a couch at a dance studio after an underage girl got up from the seat.
this is like the weirdest video ever.
Yeah.
This guy just there's a little girl sitting on the seat and he just like creeps in and like smells the couch. It's so God,
And like
it makes me want to beat that dude up for real.
And who is this guy? Is he the parent of another girl that's dancing at the studio, or was he just like outside of the dance studio looking through the window and then just walked in and did it? Because it
I
kind of
don't
seems
know.
like that.
He needs to get his ass beat for real.
The police said they know who he is and they're determining if they're going to press charges or not. I mean, what
Why-
charges
what-
would you press?
Yeah, but what are you determining? I don't like. I guess they don't have.
Because
I
this
don't
might
know.
fall into some weird legal loophole. Like, what is the charge? Because
Just-
even with the
I
butt
don't
sniffer,
know.
it's like he was getting in people's spaces and harassing them.
I don't know. Like I feel like that should be grounds to investigate a person to see if they're involved with pedophilia. Like why else would you be sniffing the couch of where a little child was sitting?
But they're not going to do anything anyway, because think about people that are openly stalking victims and they're like, well, we can't do anything
Yeah.
unless they threaten to harm you.
Yeah, I know.
And then all of a sudden somebody's murdered.
I don't know. It's just it's really like my kid goes to dance school. Like I don't want to think about that. That would if that happened and that was my child, like I would find that guy and like have a conversation with him. As Gabe would say.
All right, last story. An organ donor group is being investigated after they allegedly told a hospital to harvest from a patient who was showing signs of life. This is really not helping the rumors that they don't keep you alive.
I was thinking about this. Of course, this happened at Virtua near us in Camden, the Our Lady of Lourdes, which the hospital employees seem like they did the right thing. I guess they got the okay to harvest this person. And when a person dies and donates their organs, they're considered to be brain dead, but they still are technically being kept alive on certain machines to keep the organs alive, to keep the oxygenated blood moving through the organs. So when they take it out, it's as fresh as possible. But technically, the person's dead. They're declared legally brain dead and they're dead. So I guess they called this organ donation company and said, okay, we're going to harvest these organs. And then when they went in to start doing it, they were saying that the patient showed signs of life. So I guess what part I'm confused about is that those surgeons then called the donation center and said, listen, this person is showing signs of life. Like, what do we do? I don't even understand.
I don't think they were asking, what do we do? I think they were just saying they're showing signs of life, so we're going to be stopping the procedure.
Okay. And then the lady was
And
like,
then that's
why I was like, why would you even call
told them they needed to keep operating?
Yeah. So, and if that's the case, and there's a lawsuit going through right now and everything, apparently there's been documentation to cover up the incident, and if that's the case and that really happened, like it's just they don't need any negative news right now because people I'm like the biggest pro organ donation person, and this kind of shit makes me nervous. We had a story. Do you remember the story that we had a couple years ago about a man who woke up during organ harvesting, who's now alive, still, survived that? So that was a huge thing. And as a person that wants to donate their family members' organs when they die, you want to make sure that practice is legit and you're not doing anything that you're not supposed to be doing. I really don't understand why she would tell them to keep doing it, because she doesn't have any medical training like that. That's why I'm like, I mean, I guess if they were just calling to say like, hey, we're just letting you know you're not getting these organs because this person's still alive, then I don't even know why she would bother saying back, no, keep them alive, because like she doesn't have any control over that.
Well, there was a lot of issues going on here. So they're saying the House committee reached out to this company for more info in July and then said they have since uncovered more evidence of potentially illegal operations. And then they were also accused of failing to obtain proper consent from donors' families, skipping patients on transplant lists, and obscuring a mass discard of 100 pancreases obtained for research.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. And skipping people on the list and stuff, like why?
Well,
It's
exactly.
just not.
Like,
It's
what
not
are
cool.
they doing?
And who's deciding like which person should get it? I mean, I know that certain patients take priority over other patients, but that would and which is a totally legal thing. But obviously, what they're doing is not legal. So, I mean, it's just concerning because we live around here, and there's if that's the major organ donation establishment in this area, then that makes me nervous as a resident that might have a family member that needs to use that.
Well, yeah. So they have until December 3rd to produce these documents that have been requested, but it's not seeming like it's going well if they're already uncovering a bunch of other problems in this company.
I don't know. I still want to believe that. I know a lot of people that work in the field that just like they feel very passionate about it and they're legit, and you would just hate for it to go downhill because a couple of like sketchy people, you know?
Well, at least the hospital stepped in and seemed to do the right thing.
They were just like, yeah, no. I mean,
but obviously they had to report them because major red flag, right? Like you can't just
yeah.
And even so, I'm like, what was that like? Like they stopped this procedure and then they're all in the lounge later being like, that was weird, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it was interesting.
All right, guys, we hope you had a great Thanksgiving and happy shopping today if that's what you're doing, or just lounging around the house. I'm going to hopefully be seeing Wicked at some point today. But you can grab some new merch on thedoramatershop.com with the discount code in the description of this episode. Please head over to Apple or Spotify and leave us a review, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and send us stories to stories@motherknowsdeath.com.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you for listening to Mother Knows Death. As a reminder, my training is as a pathologist assistant. I have a master's level education and specialize in anatomy and pathology education. I am not a doctor and I have not diagnosed or treated anyone, dead or alive, without the assistance of a licensed medical doctor. This show, my website, and social media accounts are designed to educate and inform people based on my experience working in pathology so they can make healthier decisions regarding their life and well-being. Always remember that science is changing every day, and the opinions expressed in this episode are based on my knowledge of those subjects at the time of publication. If you are having a medical problem, have a medical question, or are having a medical emergency, please contact your physician or visit an urgent care center, emergency room, or hospital. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Mother Knows Death on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get podcasts. Thanks.